think we're live. I always hate going live because then you're waiting for people to join and you're like, am I live? Am I not live? Okay, I think we're live. Okay, so today's live is going to be all about drama schools. So we're chatting all things drama schools, and it is with the lovely Santino Smith. So I'll give you a little bio about Santino before he joins us. So Santino Santino studied at the Royal Welsh and he got his BA honours from the Royal Welsh Academy. And he studied there from 2013 to 2016. And since then, Santino has worked on... It's a great time to have poor connection, all of that. Since then, Santino has worked in TV, film and theatre, some credits including working with the BBC Films and at the Vaults Festival. So, let me see if you're still watching, can you drop us a little message in the comments to tell us if you can hear us both okay? Hi!
Hiya.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Okay, so before I start asking you questions, do you want to tell us a wee bit about who you are and what...
Yeah. So I am Santino. Me and Colby met at Pace Youth Theatre, and then actually I didn't get into drama school my first year of trying, so I went to Langside College for a year, which was class, and then went to Royal Welsh for 3 years, and then living in London for 4.5, and now just cutting about back in Glasgow.
Amazing. So you touched on the first point before I even got to it. So we wanted to chat about the process of auditioning for drama schools. A lot of our followers are either just graduated or are trying to get into a drama school. So how many schools did you actually audition for?
So in my first one, I only auditioned for Royal Scottish.
Conservatoire?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So yeah, and I didn't get in, so I was like, don't like that. But obviously, had to have a plan B. So my mum pushed for me to go to Langside College, which is like, I mean, there's tons of good colleges in Scotland that do acting and stuff. And Langside is up there with like one of the best ones. So that was a great school, and I did the NQ there for a year, which is just good because I could have like taken a gap here and like cut about a bit, you know, and gone travelling or whatever. But I think it was good to keep the old creative brain like ticking on for a bit. And then when I was in Langside, I applied for 5 drama schools, I think. Guildhall, RADA, Lambda, Royal Welsh, Royal Scottish again, and Bristol Vic. Just because they were like the 5 top ones. I think in UCAS you can only apply for 5 anyway, so that was my limit. But yeah, and I'd never heard of Royal Welsh before, and it was, Claire Ramsey.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
So yeah, so she went there to go and do a musical theatre course, and I was still quite pally with her, and yeah, and I remember her just whenever I seen her back in Glasgow, ever her chatting about like how class it all was, and so I'd done some research on them, and they seemed really good, and I went down there and I was just blown away by the building. Like, it was absolutely stunning, and yeah, that was my recall. I went down there for that, and then I got into Royal Welsh and also into Royal Scottish, but Royal Welsh offered me a scholarship, so I was like, we were like, and the head of acting phones me to offer it, so we were like, that makes you feel a bit more wanted kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went for Royal Welsh, and it was Cardiff was great. I had a great time.
So for you, was it always like the one route that you wanted to go down? Was it always just going to be like acting, or did you even consider doing like musical theatre or acting for film? Or...
Well, I mean, I think just from Pace, like from a really young age, I had never decided that I was going to do anything else, really. I had used to have like bits of A4 paper up my wall in my room of all the different drama schools and the results that I needed to get in and all that kind of stuff. So that was a nice wee motivation just to like be looking at that. And then yeah, I always it was just I mean I can sing, but I wouldn't.
Okay.
So yeah, so it was
I
so
mean, that that's what that's what a drama school's for. I've never knock yourself, never knock your talent back. You know, you're a talented man.
yeah, thank you. But no, it was yeah, I always wanted to do acting. Um, it was just all and luckily at drama school, when you do a BA acting course or any acting course, they cover everything. So it's not just stage; they cover everything from like you do loads of movement, you do a bit of acting through song, and you also do like I mean I think there should be more film and TV because that's the way it's going these days. But you do like film and TV projects throughout it, so you do get like time behind the camera and all that. And so yeah, it was just always what I was going to do, and I just always in the back of my head knew I was going to get there. So it was just like
Yeah.
getting there, in whatever way I had to do it.
What
Um,
with each school like to say they've got like a specialty. So
mm,
like I would say, for example, with studying at the Royal Conservatoire in Glasgow, I think that you are kind of led down like an actor musical route. Like so it's really big in the Conservatoire in Glasgow to have like an own like instrumentation running the whole way through your
yeah,
at the end of it in the hopes to be like going into a show as an actor musical. So would you say that Royal Welsh has the same kind of thing? Would you?
yeah. Royal Welsh, for me, and I guess it shows now with what I'm up to at the moment. But like, Royal Welsh are really good at pushing you to do your own writing and do your own shows.
Okay.
Um, and really kind of unlock that part of you that's like not everybody, when you leave drama school, not everybody's going to go straight into films or go straight into stage. Like there is an element where you might have to create your own work. So Royal Welsh were really big on new writing, and when I started in first year, they started this for the first time, this new writing season that was it was a really good initiative. They got like four of the top up and coming writers in the country and four of the top up and coming directors, and the writers just wrote a brand new play. The directors directed like maybe 8 or 10 students in a show, and it went on for a week in Cardiff and then a week at the Gate Theatre in London.
Mm-hmm.
So it was also great because like when you were looking for an agent or whatever, they got to see you in a show in London, which was just good as well. But also it was a great experience, like being drama school and doing a show in London at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, Roy
Great
Welsh was
one.
definitely they pushed new writing as what I would say their niche
Like
was, I
niche.
guess. Yeah, and it was good because you know other drama schools have their own thing, but I think it was good to see like just because maybe you're not a classically trained, talented in that way, you know, I think people really think, if they can't do Shakespeare, like they're fucked. But that's not the case
Yeah.
at all. Do you know what I mean? Like there's just so much exciting new writing out there, and getting your mouth and emotions around that is equally as difficult as like doing Shakespeare or like classically trained pieces.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so going back to the processes, obviously you'd said that in your first year you'd only auditioned for the one place, obviously being the conservatoire. Do you think that was like a I don't want to make you seem like silly, but do you think that was like a rookie mistake, or only auditioned for one place, or was it that you had your heart set on that at the time, or like was there a reasoning behind the only auditioning for one place?
Was like go
But
go to the conservatoire, I mean, for, you know, go to Royal Scottish, it was called RSMD, whatever, you go to the academy, blah, blah, you know, and you just had it in your head, that at 17, that's just where I was going to go.
Okay.
But then obviously, I just thought I would audition and get in, and that'd be it. And when I didn't get in, I was like, whoa, what? What do you mean? I don't understand. Why didn't I get in there? So I think, you know, and also like my cousin Francesco, he auditioned for a bunch of drama schools as well, and he picked one because of the audition process. And I think that's why it's really important to like really do auditions for like as many schools as you can, because, you know, don't have your heart set on one place. A lot of people have their heart set on like RADA or Lambda, and if they don't get into one of those two, like they think that's it, like there's no point in doing it. And actually that's nonsense, because, you know, it's all about what you, it's, you know, because it's your career, so you've got to get the best for you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like you've got to go to other places, and you've got to see where gives you the best vibe and where you feel most like, because you're going to spend the next 3 years training there, so you've got to go where you feel the most, you know, comfortable, you know, and like if you get on with the teachers, or if you get a vibe for the city or the school, like, you know. So I would definitely say, don't put all your eggs in one basket and be like, I'm going to one school and that's it. Like, definitely go to like other schools, you know, and do your research about, you know, your favourite actors and actresses and where have they gone, you know. That's always good as well, kind of thing.
I don't know if you believe in like a fate thing, but obviously within your first year not getting into the RC, do you think you learned things that you didn't learn at the college that you went to before you started studying the Royal Welsh?
Um,
And it's okay to say no. Like
I don't
that.
know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I learned anything like acting wise, but I think I definitely just randomly phoned me there.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I learned anything acting wise, but I definitely learned, you know, like I was saying there, like I learned about auditioning up and down the country, and also like because I was at Pace and then I was at school, you know, so, you know, I was just so used to seeing the same people every Sunday or Tuesday or whatever. I was rehearsing for Pace, and then at school, like the same people in your higher drama class. So you were never really pushed out of that comfort zone, and I felt so comfortable in those two places. So what going to Langside College did was like push me out of that comfort zone to like, you know, if I do believe that I'm talented enough to, oh, I hate the word make it, but like to, you know, to like,
Yeah.
to be successful and like to really give myself a good opportunity of thriving in this industry, I think you need to put yourself in those uncomfortable positions of like surrounded by new people. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, pushing yourself in those zones, because it's, you know, I couldn't just hang about in the same Pace class forever. That'd be crazy. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I think it's I think wherever you go, you always like not cling on to, but like, you know, when you obviously being in, we used to call you guys the Pace Elite, like, so Santino was like, when Santino and I were both in, it was like different classes, and Santino was, I'm going to make you seem old, I'm really sorry.
That's okay.
Santino were like babies, that was the year that you looked up to. It just, I think it's really amazing because the stats from your year of like people who are still in the industry or who are like doing really well, like just throwing out some, like, obviously we've got Aaron here, we've got Jordan Blackwood, we've got Dan Cameron, all of these, and there's so many others like Scott Mack, watching that scene, Scott joined. All these people that are still in the industry doing really, really well. Esco, he's just joined as well. But all these people, and I just think it's funny because do you still speak to all these people? Like, are you still?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, me and Scott Mackey are best pals, and we've written 2 plays together. And I mean, they were the most fun in the whole world writing them. But like, if it wasn't for Pace, I'd never have met Scott, you know, and I'd never have that friendship and all that, you know, and I still talk to Jordan Blackwood, Daniel Cameron. I still speak to like my other two best pals, Thomas and Martin Quinn.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Thomas isn't an actor, but Martin is. Martin's doing class and all. So I mean, you know, some of my best friends and like most like
I think in that same kind of, not scenario. Yeah. I was going to say you broke up a bit there. Can you say that again? You broke up a bit there. Can you say that again? I don't know if it's your connection or my connection. I can't tell who's got the bad connection. Can you hear me? Is this any better? Can you hear me better now? Oh, he's paused. Well, yeah, I can hear. I can hear you. Right, okay, bonus. But yes, I just think it's funny because the people that you met way back when you were a teen that you still think of now.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
So we think it's funny, like if you think about like you're looking for a director, you've got someone. If you're looking for another actor, you've got someone. But touching on the point of writing two plays with Scott Mackey, do you want to have a chat about that? Like, what are they about? Do you plan to put them on anywhere?
Yeah, so the first one we put on was called the Unemployed Actors Union, which wasn't the best title looking back. But you know, but that all started from me and Scott both got into drama school the same year, and we thought we'd put on, you know, like everyone from Paysted, if you got into drama school, put on a fundraising show. And Scott wanted to write this really well. Scott had written this like really intense, serious piece, and I was just like, "It's a fundraiser. Maybe let's make it a bit funny." And so we did. We turned it into a nice comedy with Eve Thompson and Aida, who did the play with us, and it went down really well. And then we both went to drama school and left it. And then once we left drama school, we just started chatting again, then started like getting drunk and watching it because Scott's auntie had filmed it, and we just kept like writing gags as we were watching it. And then we just had this decision we should rewrite it, you know, same storyline but rewrite it. And so we did. We rewrote it and put it on at the White Bear Theatre for a week, and it went down a storm. And then we tried to put it on, and then there was just tons of things that didn't work out for us. And then about a year later, me and Scott met in a pub, and we thought we should definitely write together again. So we sat down and Scott had an idea about finding a dead body at the start of a play, and I had an idea about everyone joining, the audience coming into like a massive house party. That we created, because that went on in London for a week again, and then we came back and put it on in Glasgow for 2 nights, which was really cool because, you know, a lot of family and friends up here never got to see the first one, so it was great they got to see afters. And we did get a slot at the Fringe this year. We did get at the Pleasance Theatre, but obviously a pandemic hit the world, and that was the end of that.
Although, obviously the good thing with the Fringe is that it can carry over to next year because of what's happening with
Yeah. Although
these
the
productions.
Fringe, it was just difficult because with the Fringe, we were given like an 11 p.m. slot, which is quite late, but it was the kind of show
That is
that
late.
could work. It could work if it was like late at night. Like, I always feel like at 11 o'clock at night, people are quite pissed. Oh, you got me?
You having some tech? Yeah, I've got you.
Sorry. But anyway, once we broke it down how much it was going to cost at the Fringe, it was actually really super expensive.
Okay.
You know, we needed like 5-6 grand before we even stepped foot in the theatre,
Okay.
and we just didn't have that kind of pocket, that cash ready to go. So
I was
so
laughing
yeah,
because
so I mean,
Scott said that's not how I remember it. If you want to elaborate on that one, Scott, I'm
well,
sure Tina would love to know.
when he's doing Q&As, he can tell his version, right?
Yeah. Obviously with this company go to the Fringe every single year. So if it's something that you wanted, like if you want to like move forward with, we would love, like, we'll share all of our contacts that we have, and the hope that it could give you like either a better slot or be able to get you like some sort of, get it like cheap. But
Yeah, well,
that's all the good things when you know Scottish
yeah, of
actors. We're all in
course.
the Fringe.
Well, that was also part of it with Scott and me. The reason that we wanted to bring afters up the road is because there's such a good pool of Scottish arts people kicking about at the moment, and like I think you know they definitely need to be like um
Yep.
London kind of thing. But obviously with everything that goes on right now, I'm not sure when there'll be theatres open again. You know, me and Scott have talked about turning afters into a TV show as well,
Yeah.
because we feel the characters in it can go from there. So, I mean, yeah, it's all very exciting, and all the collabs have to be done.
I mean, from just speaking about it, it sounds like a like. Please tell me that it's a really Scottish thing, because that's how I see it. Is that the
The
right
play,
picture? And oh, did you get me?
the play's a really Scottish thing.
Is it really Scottish? Like,
Well, no, it's about uh, these two boys who grew up in Paisley, and one of them left when he was 18, and the other one stayed. So it's kind of that. I mean, you'll know yourself with pals, like some of them, you know, never leave your hometown, and some of them leave and never come back. And it's just the
yep,
different experiences that you have in that, of like, you know, and the friendship doesn't last. So it's like these two people, and one of them is really hung up on being best pals from the past, and one of them's kind of like over it, you know, and he's got this new life where he's professional and he's serious and all that kind of stuff. You know, so I mean, it's not about Scotland per se, but
okay.
it is about like you know, I guess like moving from home, you know, and everything that comes with that, and trying to contact with folk and stuff, you know.
People need to stop phoning us. I don't know why people don't phone me at any other point apart from when I go live. What is this all about?
I know.
What is this all about? But yes, so moving on from after you've left drama school, do you want to talk about like how you felt about going into auditions straight away? Like how what was your not what was your success rate? I don't mean it like that, but I mean like, when did you land your first job? How did you feel about it?
Well,
Like all that.
yeah, it took me a year to land my
Okay.
first job, which is a long time. Maybe, I don't know. It was for me because I was living with people who were getting acting jobs coming at their arse. So it was a long
Okay.
time, but I was so buzzing when I got it. I was actually with Scott Mackey. We were hungover, lying in my bed, and I got a phone call, and I was like jumping up and down. But it was, yeah, and it was a UK tour of a play. Um, it was. I mean, I think it's so important for people to know that like there's no pressure on you to hit any kind of success rate when you leave drama school.
No.
That like there's, I mean, it's so easy to get yourself anxious about the whole thing, especially if like, you know, I remember with me, I was with, you know, my best friends from drama school, but they were all landing really big jobs. And, you know, one of them was a lead in the Harry Potter play, one of them was the lead in an ITV drama. You know, they were doing other, like, it was just, and that's tough. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, you're super proud and supportive of your pals, but, you know, you're just waiting. You're like, well, when's it going to be? When's it going to be? When's it going to be me? And actually, 4 years on, I've realised that, you know, if we are talking about fate or whatever, you just got to keep the determination. You just got to keep, you know, thinking that like your time will come in whatever capacity, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel there's so much pressure these days to like book that big Netflix job, or, you know, book that, get yourself an Olivier Award.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know, what's the point in any of it? And actually, it's not about that. That's not why you got into it. And I think it's really important to always remember about why you got into it and who you're doing it for. Because if you're doing it for other people, then it's, you know, you're gonna have a rubbish time.
Yeah.
You need to be doing it for yourself, and, you know, the whatever, however you measure success is how it'll be measured. It's not measured by how many awards you win, although awards are nice and lovely, and they do help you out in your career.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not everything. And that's what I've learned from doing the shows with Scott, or doing my own writing with poems and pattern and stuff. Like, you know, I get the most out of writing and having fun and playing about and, you know, doing all that kind of stuff. That's when I'm most fun. So if I keep doing that for as long as I want to, then that's it, you know. So I think it's really important to, like, when you leave drama school, just like, and drama school is such an intense 3 years, you know. It's not like a normal uni where like you're in a Tuesday afternoon and a Friday morning and that's it. You know, you're in 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, sometimes at the weekends, sometimes you're until like 10 o'clock at night, you know, and it's really intense, and you're with the same 22, 23 people. So that brings with it other tensions sometimes, you know, but, you know, and you're with these lecturers and you don't see anyone else, and you're in this bubble almost. So I think it's really good that when you leave drama school to be like, really take a step back from it all if you can. You know, obviously book as many jobs and keep, you know, just keep going with that. But like, I think it's good to like just step back from it all and like just be able to take it all in, because you won't be able to like do that in like 5-10 years time, because you'll have forgotten it.
Yeah.
So it's good to like take a step back and remember it all. And also, like, I can't emphasize how much you always need to keep booking holidays.
Okay.
Just keep booking them. And what I've found is if you book them, you'll get an acting job, and it'll be a nightmare cancelling it, but you'll have an acting job, so it'll balance it all out.
Yes.
But you know, go on a holiday and, you know, cutting about, like, don't get yourself stuck in London. You know, it's so easy just to get yourself stuck in London, and you've got no money, and you can barely afford a trip home, never mind, you know, somewhere else. You know, and it's really important to make sure that you still do the things that you loved before you were an actor.
Yeah.
Still keep that going, you know, like join a five-a-side football team, a netball team, like, whatever other passion you have, keep that going, because that's equally as important for, like, you know, the head as much as everything else.
Yeah.
And it's more fun. You don't want to be hanging about with actors all day every day. Like, I love my pals, but there's only so many times you can talk about this edition and that edition. Like, it's so important you surround yourself. I was really lucky that in London I had such a good group of people that surround myself with. You know, and sometimes you talk about acting, but also sometimes just like you talk about biscuits or something. Do you know what I mean? Just like little things like
Yeah.
that.
I
So
think
yeah, I think leaving drama school it can be a very stressful time, but also I think a really important time to like be able to process it all and just take your time with it. Do you know what I mean? Like, get yourself an agent that you know, or even if you don't get yourself an agent, but just bag yourself someone that believes in you and just knows, you know, you're either going to hit it or take time. But like, you know, my dad always says it's a marathon, not a sprint.
yeah.
I think that's really important, you know.
He must have, his ears must be burning because yours just joined. Hello, Michael, if you're still watching. But yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. I think with everything that's going on right now, I definitely think it's so important for, like, obviously with us having this page, and we've had quite a lot of 2020 graduates on, like, doing little live cabarets, and they've had like really great response. I think it's so important for graduates, but I think it's also really, really important not to forget everybody else. Like, fair enough, a graduate might graduate and go straight into a job. Like, my best friend literally is the epitome of success in my head. He literally graduated, got his career just went strength to strength. He went to Anto to a cruise. He's just got another cruise. But I am like unbelievably proud of him. But then I have to think of my own journey and think, okay, so that, fair enough, that didn't happen for me straight away, but I still value success and I know that I'll get there. So I think
Absolutely.
it's not just for graduates, but for everyone that hasn't quite bagged that like massive job yet, or hasn't. So you've literally hit the nail on the head. I think it's really important to know about your own self-worth and everything.
Yeah.
It's all about in here. It's all about doing it right.
Yeah, and also like, you know, you just it's you know, I do really feel for graduates this year because, you know, there's no doubting that it's shite. Do you know what I mean? There's no other way to put it, really. Like, it's
Yep.
rubbish. It is rubbish, you know. But that's why stuff like what you're doing and people are going to need to find, you know, there's only so long you can sit in your arse and feel sorry for yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
At one point, which I've seen quite a lot, I've seen so many new initiatives like that are just like, you know, online reading. There's a great theatre company called Siberian Lights, which is an all-female theatre company, and they've been doing tons of readings for females of like different plays, and they've been doing great. There's another one that is from a Royal Welsh graduate. It's called the Far Away Plays, and it's for all Welsh like artists, and there's directors and actors, and they just read new plays, old plays, do play readings, because when this does stop, and it is going to end at some point, you've just got to believe that. But when it does end, you've got to be ready to go. You can't have been like sitting doing nothing, you know.
No.
So I think it's really important that, although it is shite for these graduates and everyone at the moment, but you know, you need to find new ways to keep it up and keep it fast, because this industry moves so fast that you can't let yourself get left behind. So I think it's really important that stuff like this, virtual fringes, like, you know, John Blackwood mentioned earlier, he's doing he was running the army barracks at the Fringe this year, so they're doing a whole program of different things, you know. And I think it's just so cool. Like, you know, the arts, you know, the government's been absolute rubbish with money and what the plan is for it, but I think it just pushes, because creatives are just really good at that, it pushes people into new directions to make things and make theatre and make arts and explore musicals and films and short films. And, you know, it's just it's shite, but it's also really exciting, you know, because
The thing,
people are getting pushed
yeah,
into doing things they never thought they'd have to do, and they're like, okay, what, this is what I want to do, and so I'm just going to have to do it one way or another. I think that's really cool, you know.
yeah. The things are out there. You just need to have the will to look for it. Like, obviously with Jordan's thing, if you don't know who Pearson Casting are, they have created a brand new like YouTube page for anyone watching, and basically every single day they have been going live with at least 4 workshops every single day, and it's with
Oh
people
wow.
film, TV casting, like, and they're just having a Q&A, kind of like what we're doing, and then you can literally, it's like you're in the room with a casting director. You can ask them your direct questions, and they'll get back to you on the actual live. So it's just been fantastic. So
Yeah,
I'll find somewhere to drop that link, maybe
yeah,
in the comments
definitely.
when I post this. But that's been fantastic. So I've just subscribed to it, and every single day it's at least 4. They always start with like a nice fitnessy workshop in the morning. If you're up early enough to do that, I would highly suggest it.
Mm.
But yeah, it's all about
But my friend, yeah, my friend Vittorio, who's a stand-up, he's been the busiest person in lockdown like I've ever seen. Some of the content he's turning out, it's just been, but like stand-up's another medium that's kind of been forgotten about. But like, you know, it is, you just got to keep churning out that material, and you know, it's not always going to be amazing, but you know, I remember a lecturer at drama school told us that when you're writing, just if you do go into writing or whatever, just write, just spend an afternoon or a morning or even just type it all out or write it or whatever, or record it on your phone. Just keep going until you can't anymore, and then, do you know what I mean? Stop after that, and then it might not be good, but also it could be amazing, and it could lead to an idea for this and that. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think it's great that, like, you know, just to keep the whole creative thing ticking along, you know, so that you're not going insane, kind of thing.
absolutely. Um, so before we wrap things up, I want to ask you, it's kind of a one question, but it's split into 2 parts. So what would you tell yourself if you could speak to 10 years younger Santino?
Wow.
What would you tell yourself? Like, what's something really vital that you've learned, or something that you wish you'd known, or something like that? So 10 years younger, Tino, what would you tell? What would you tell?
15. Um, don't discover pints. No, no, no. What I would say is slow. It's tricky not to sound stereotypical, but I think slow down is probably good.
Okay.
I you know, in my own personality, I know I just want to get things done and fast, and I want them to happen now. And if they don't, I go in a bit of a meltdown about it. So I think slow down is really good. You know, in drama school, you know, like any uni degree or anything in life, it goes by super fast. So I think just slow down and enjoying that, and don't wish it away. Do you mean when you're in drama school, you're like, oh, I can't wait to leave and start, and actually, fuck that. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's, you know, it's not actually not going anywhere. So, um, so yeah, I think slow down, enjoy yourself, um, just take it all in more, I
Okay.
guess.
So now flipping that on its head, what would you tell 10 years older Santino?
Oh God, you better have won that Olivier Awards. If you, I'll be raging with you if you haven't. 10 years older. Good question, Colby. That's a really good question.
Thank
So
you
we're
so much.
35. I really hope I'd like to like be able to like, you know, what I've learned since I left drama school is like I love creating, you know,
Mhm.
not to directly quote Hamilton, but I do want to be in the room where it happens. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
You know, and I don't want to be outside the room. I want to be in it. I want to be like with a bunch of creatives making, like, you know, I love that. You know, that was which was so good about Afters. You know,
yep.
this time round when we did me and Scott's second play, you know, we cast it, and I quite liked being that, you know, part of it all. So I think I'd like to, in 10 years now, I'd like to be in the room where it's happening. I guess, not to sound too cheesy, but
That was
I'm
quite.
I'm gonna stick by it.
I'm actually quite impressed by that. I love Hamilton, so I'm liking it.
Yeah,
Well done.
yeah. That's I think it sounds weird, but that's like, you know, I just want to be working with a bunch of people, creating new things, you know, devising things and being a part of exciting projects, you know, but like really being a part of them, you know, like, you know, I think that's that. I love that whole aspect of like, from the director to the stage manager to the lighting designer, like to the actor to like the usher. If you're looking at a theatre, like you're all part of a team, and it's just so important that a whole team's coming together, you know. And so I think, yeah, that's it.
Thank you. No, I liked it. That was good. So I heard it here, folks. If you catch when he is 35, he is not in the room where it happened. You've got full disclosure to pull
Yeah,
up because this is a no. This happened. You said it.
I've said it.
You better be in the
We'll
room
come
where it
back. We'll come back and we'll do the same Q&A in 10 years, and we'll talk about my demise. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, that means I'm going to need to think. I mean, I also want to be in the room where it happened, but maybe not on the other side of the table. I want to be at that side of the table. Although I'll be 30. That's just old.
I know. Also, I don't want to think about being 35. You know what I mean? I'm just like, that's
Deary
a
me.
bit like,
That's scary. Anyway,
yeah.
but yes, so this live will be available to watch on within. Oh, I put a question box up. See if anyone has any questions. No questions in there, but if you've got your questions, you can drop them in, and I'll send. You know, if you've got any. But thank you very much for taking some time out your day to come and chat. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you so much for having me.
You are so welcome. So tomorrow we have it's a live. Yeah. My good friend Jade from the Department going live doing a little cabaret. So if you're watching today and you like it, so tune in for some more tomorrow. Thank you for taking your time out today.
See you later.
See you later. Bye.